Welcome back, everyone. Before we get started, drop your thoughts and what you learned from this story in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, let's dive in. The first night it all began, rain hammered against the roof of our 2-story house in Oakwood, Illinois. The old gutters clattered in the gusty wind. I was curled up on the living room couch, blanket pulled up to my chin. The hum of reruns of Friends on TV filling the space between me and the dark. Jason's phone buzzed on the coffee table. I barely noticed until the screen's glow sliced through the shadows. The name Evan Work appeared, accompanied by a single red heart emoji. I frowned. Jason didn't know anyone named Evan at his tech job. Not close enough for hearts. Not even in the joking way he sometimes sent silly emojis to his sister. I reached for the phone, but before I could touch it, Jason walked in from the kitchen, wiping his hands on a dish towel, snatching the phone so quickly it was as if it burned him. He glanced at me and said,
"Just work stuff. Somebody texting late again."
I wanted to shrug it off as just one of those everyday glitches in modern life. But my gut twisted. I watched him closely, noticing the faint tremor in his hands. The contact photo for Evan was just a blank gray silhouette, like he'd added it hastily. A few days later, I found a bright red lipstick tube rolling around on the passenger floor of Jason's car. Mac Ruby Woo. That wasn't mine. I twisted it open, sniffed for a familiar scent. But there was nothing but cold plastic, smooth and silent as a lie. Jason's voice drifted from the garage door.
"Hey, you coming?"
He called. I slipped the lipstick in my pocket and asked, "Whose is this?" He shrugged without looking.
"Probably one of your cousins. You know how messy they can be."
Except I did know. My cousins were adults. None wore that shade. And I'd cleaned that car after our last trip to Chicago. No crumbs, no stray hairs, nothing. But Jason was already moving on, fiddling with his golf clubs and changing the subject.
"Want me to pick up some wings for dinner?"
I stared at him for a long moment. He wouldn't meet my eyes. Days blurred. Cold March winds mixed with growing suspicion. Jason's work hours stretched longer.
"Audit season."
He said,
"Lots of backlog."
Some nights he didn't bring home his laptop. Other times he came in smelling faintly of a cologne I didn't recognize. My sister Mia started acting strange too. Always the life of family dinners, laughing loud and teasing me, she now kept her gaze glued to her coffee cup at our meetups, stirring it endlessly, barely tasting it. Her fingers trembled like she was waiting for something catastrophic. "You okay, Mia?" I asked, searching for the sister I grew up with. She nodded too quickly.
Work stress, just a lot of shifts.
But Mia, a nurse at Mercy General for 8 years, thrived on chaos. Now she looked brittle, pale, quieter with every question. I stopped sleeping. My nerves were raw, like live wires. One Thursday, after Jason said he had a late call and went downstairs, I lay awake, listening. My heart thundered in my ears. Around 1:30 a.m., floorboards creaked softly. Jason moved like he was tiptoeing past something dangerous. Barefoot on cold wood floors, I followed his shadow to the kitchen. He was whispering, back turned.
"She doesn't suspect a thing."
Jason said. A softer voice, Mia's, whispered.
Are you sure? She seems off.
My throat tightened. I hid in the shadows, watching. Jason moved toward the garage, opened the side door. Mia waited under the flickering porch light, arms crossed, shivering in her scrubs. He handed her a thick white envelope. She tucked it inside her bag, glancing around like sirens would scream any second.
"She'll never know."
Jason said, his voice cold as winter. Mia nodded. They parted silently. I crept back upstairs, heart pounding, dread blooming. In bed, eyes closed, pretending to sleep as Jason slipped beside me. By dawn, I knew. I had to see what was in that envelope. After he left for work, I went to the garage, hands trembling. First, nothing. Then I found the envelope, torn open in the trash bin. Inside, a stack of documents heavy with legal jargon. On top, a copy of my birth certificate. Then my driver's license. But the photo was old, the signature shaky and unfamiliar. Other forms followed, one labeled boldly, "Incompetency Petition." I stared numb. The words blurred. Unable to manage finances. Signs of paranoia, forgetfulness and confusion. The signature was supposed to be mine, but I never wrote it. Jason's notary stamp gleamed in the margin. My knees buckled. I sank to the cold garage floor, papers spilling around me. They were trying to erase me, not just from my own home, but from the law. That afternoon, Mia came over unannounced. She looked tired, hair pulled back, no makeup. She brought peach cobbler from Mom's recipe and smiled too wide. I tried to act normal. "You seem stressed, Lily. What's going on?" She flinched. "Nothing, just new hospital rules." I sipped coffee, watched her pick at her nails. "Promise you'll tell me if something's wrong?" Mia's eyes welled for a moment, then blinked away tears. I would. I didn't believe her. I started checking everything. In the attic, between old albums and Dad's army papers, I found the family property folder. I hid evidence, notes tucked in a magazine, voice memos hidden in the cloud under fake folder names. I bought a cheap camera disguised as a phone charger and plugged it into the kitchen socket. Every night after Jason thought I was asleep, he made quiet, urgent calls. "Just a few more weeks," I heard him whisper, pacing near the back window. "Mia will handle the papers. She won't last long." The next morning, Jason made me breakfast, careful and sweet.
You have a doctor's appointment at noon. I'll take you.
Mia rode in the back seat, hand on my shoulder. We pulled up not to a doctor's office, but Midtown Behavioral Health Facility. Jason parked.
Just a check-in.
I looked at Mia. She stared at her hands. A nurse met us at the door, clipboard ready. Jason pulled out the stack of documents, the fake petition, the withdrawal letter, the notary stamps. "This is for your own good, Lily," he smiled, calm and steady. "You'll thank us one day." The nurse stepped forward. Before anyone could move, a black sedan slid to the curb. Mr. Whitman, Dad's old friend and now a lawyer, stepped out, briefcase in hand, with 2 police officers behind him.
"I think you all need to see this first,"
he said, voice booming. Jason's mouth fell open. Mia looked ready to faint. The officers reviewed the evidence, videos, forged forms, notary fraud. Jason tried to talk, but they cut him off and cuffed him right there. Mia sobbed. "I didn't mean to," she cried. It didn't matter. The proof was clear. I stood trembling as they took Jason away, Mia following silently. The nurse still clutching her clipboard, confused. After the trial and the reporters, the house grew quiet again. Jason was convicted of fraud, forgery, and notary misconduct, sentenced to 5 years. Mia lost her nursing license for her part in the scheme. I kept the land. I kept my name. The story made the Oakwood Times. Neighbors watched me in the grocery store. Some whispered, others nodded in respect. The spring air smelled like hope. I turned my home into a refuge for women in crisis. Sisters with stories like mine, too often ignored or doubted. Late one night, a letter arrived. No return address, just my name in careful block letters. Inside, a postcard of the Oakwood River sunset over the Silver Bridge. On the back, just one line, still pretending to sleep. No name, no apology. But I knew. I took it outside, tossed it into the fire pit, watching sparks spiral into the night. Then I turned and went inside, closed the door, and let the quiet wrap around me like new skin. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and share with your friends. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a powerful story.